Hey everybody, Chris Eggleston here, and welcome to Module 2 of our WP Simple Pay Pro course. In this one, we're doing plugin setup part 1. Okay, so again, I think I mentioned in the last video there's going to be two parts to this plugin setup. First, we're going to set up the initial plugin, the WP Simple Pay plugin, get it all configured and ready to go. And then we got to go set up our Stripe account and set up Stripe with our products and our subscription options. And then that's module 3. Module 4 will be plugin setup part 2, where we're going to integrate Stripe with the plugin, and then we'll set up all your products and subscriptions on your website and get the buttons and everything on the pages. Okay, so in this course again, in this module, we will be doing plugin installation. So we're going to go get the plugin. I'm going to walk you through the installation. Now I'm going to do a plugin walkthrough demo. So basically I want to show you what it looks like all set up and working. So we're going to actually look at my active site that has this plugin working on it right now. And then we'll do plugin setup part 1, which I just mentioned is where we're going to go in and actually set up the initial settings for WP Simple Pay plugin. Alright, so let's take a look here. So plugin installation, this is the first one. Now if you haven't got your plugin yet, please go to goget.xyz/simplepay. Again, goget.xyz/simplepay. And I'm going to add this here because I think I failed to mention it in the last video. How this link is an affiliate link. And the reason I'm able to make this course so affordable, $10 essentially for this course, is because I'm using affiliate links, and WP Simple Pay is paying me a commission to have you guys use this plugin. Now that's not why I created this course. That's not why I use this plugin. I use this plugin because it's the best one that I found, the easiest one, the simplest one. I just want to be straightforward with you that link is an affiliate link. If you are totally against affiliate links, totally against helping me feed my family, then just go directly to wpsimplepay.com and you can get it there, and I won't get anything, but that's totally cool. Most important thing is that you're able to complete this course and start taking money on your website. Alright, so I just want to be straight up with you on that one. So let's go ahead and start with plugin install. Oh, before we do that, I'm going to jump over to WP Simple Pay real quick. So this is their website. Sorry, it's cut off a little bit over here. But I want to talk about pricing options. I'm sorry, I probably should have done this in the first video because there are some differences in the price, or in the tiers, and this is different from the last time that I looked at this. There's 3 tiers: personal, business, elite. The only difference between elite and business is that it's 25 sites instead of 3, but everything's inclusive. So if you're going to be running this on a lot of sites, then that's probably the most ideal. But what we need to look at is your business model, your products, your services, what you're selling, and how frequently they need to be processed. Okay. So if you're just selling one-time sales, so if you're selling website design for an example, and it's just a one-time fee and you want people to go on and order on your website, then there's no like reoccurring charge or anything like that. If you're selling like a product, a basic product or whatever, and it's just a one-time fee and then you send it to them. However, if you are doing website design and hosting, and you want the hosting to be on a monthly residual subscription base, then the difference between personal and business tiers is that the business tier gives you that functionality within the plugin to be able to manage and use Stripe subscriptions. Okay, so I use the business tier for my personal uses because everything I do is on subscription base. So those are the two differences. Now, if you purchase the personal plan, but you want to do subscriptions, you can go into into the back end of your account at SimplePay, and you can upgrade very easily and just pay the difference, additional $50 or whatever it is, to get to the next tier. But I do apologize. I should have went over that in the previous video just to make sure that you got the right option. But definitely, again, if you're doing subscriptions, you want recurring payments, and you don't want to have to manually deal with that, then you need to get the business plan. Other benefit with the business plan is it gives you, you can install this on 3 sites. Okay, so let me just since we're on the topic, I think I have my account pulled up here. Yeah, sorry, it's a little cut off on my current view. But you'll see here, you can come in here and you should be able to upgrade right over here. Sorry, it's cut off a little bit, but it says upgrade now for additional site license. So basically, if you've purchased the personal plan but you need subscription option, just come in here and click on upgrade now, and you should be able to upgrade to the business plan, just paying the difference. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into plugin installation. All right. Let me change my view, and I'll be right back. All right, so here we are in our dashboard. This should look familiar to you. So since we're in the dashboard here, what we need to do is install WP Simple Pay plugin. So first thing we're going to do, we got to go back over into our account, and right here we have our download section once we're in our Simple Pay account. So once you purchase it, you'll be able to log in, and then you just click on the download link here. It'll download it to your computer as a zip file, and then we're going to head back over to our WordPress dashboard. We'll go into plugins. We're going to click on add new, and we're not going to download anything from the store. We're going to go to upload plugin here, choose a file, and then we'll look through my downloads and my zips here. And WP Simple Pay Pro 3.3.3 is the current version. So we'll open that, and then we'll click install. There we go. And I'm not going to network activate. I'm going to jump over to my other site here. If that looks a little unfamiliar to you, somebody's been using WordPress for a while, you're wondering what network activate is and why I have multiple sites listed here in my one dashboard. I'm using a multi-site install for this site. This is just where I do all my training stuff from. So it may look a little bit different there, but don't worry about that. You can ignore that for now. If you're interested in multi-site and what that means and how to use it, you're welcome to go over to chriseggleston.com and then send me a message via the contact form and let me know you're interested in that, and I'll send you some information. But I'm not going to get distracted by that now. So we're going to go back into plugins here, and I should have WP Simple Pay Pro 3. Okay, and then we're going to activate it. All right, so I'm getting this warning. HTTPS is not enabled, which means I don't have an SSL certificate. It's definitely required for this process. And it will, basically this isn't going to work until I've got one activated. But again, this is just my demo site, so I don't have an SSL here. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. But you guys will definitely want to have an SSL certificate on your site if you don't already. You could go to your host. You go to your hosting company and ask them how to add an SSL certificate to your site. You can buy it from a different company if you can find it more affordable, and then some hosting companies will install it for you. Others will require you to install it yourself. But again, if you need help with all that, go over to chrisegg.com. Again, that's chrisegg.com, and either hit me up in the comments or order a one-time fix, and we'll be happy to do the SSL setup for you on your host. So anyway, not getting distracted too much stuff, just making sure we get all the details here, because there are some pieces that aren't necessarily a part of this plugin, but just want to make sure everything's covered. So once the plugin's active, over here on the left-hand side, you have a new menu, Simple Pay Pro. And then initially when you go in, it's going to show you payment forms, and if you had your products and your subscriptions or your services all set up, you would see them in a list here, and you'll be able to edit them and manage them. If you want to add new, here's the add new system report. I usually recommend running a system report. Should be alright, but no matter where you're hosting it, because it's a pretty simple plugin and they do a really good job of maintaining it and supporting it, so they're keeping it up to date and everything is good. So, but this just is showing you that the plugin is compatible with your site. It gives you any errors or things that might be an issue, can't test. Again, this is going back to the SSL certificate. But PHP version is good, MySQL version is good. shows my host, and that everything else is good. If there were any issues, this stuff would be red. And then basically when you need support, they're going to ask you for your system information. So if you ever have to create a support ticket with SimplePay, you would come in here and then you can download this report and then add it to your ticket. That way they have all the information they need to be able to support you, because they'll want to know, what version of PHP, what version of WordPress, make sure all these settings are correct, so on and so forth. All right. So getting into the initial setup now. There's going to be a couple things, right? So first thing is your license key. So before you can use this plugin, you're going to need to enter your license key and make sure it's active. So you'd come back over here to your SimplePay dashboard or your account, copy your key, and then head back over here and activate your key. There we go, and then it's going to tell you that your license status is valid. So I got that active. So next thing is we're going to do Stripe keys. Again, this is the Stripe API setup. This is how you connect Stripe to the WP SimplePay plugin. So we're going to do that in plugin setup 2, part 2. But general settings. So these are some general settings that by default would work just fine. You don't have to make any changes if you don't want to. Pretty simple. As you can see, there's only a handful of settings to go through. Now, by default, let's pull up Pages real quick. This plugin generates 2 pages for you, payment confirmation and payment failed pages. And then as you can see here in the settings, it just uses the shortcode on that page to display the output for each of those pages. So payment confirmation would just say, thanks for your order, here's your order details, and it would show what they ordered, the price they paid, any confirmation number, and then again on the page you can actually edit these pages as well and add more content to them, because it's just using this shortcode here. But you could come in here and add more content to the page and say whatever else that you want. And I'll show you, once we do the demo of my live environment, I'll show you how we use the confirmation page. So let's jump back over here. Again, and you can always change these, and if you have your own payment confirmation page, again, in the demo I'm going to show you of my live environment. I believe we use a different payment confirmation page, or I completely edited the payment confirmation page. We'll see for sure. But payment failed, again, you don't have to use their default pages if you already have something created. But if you're just getting started, then it makes sense just to use their pages, and then you can go edit them and add whatever content to them that you want. Date format, again, you can change this if you're in a different country and you know it's ideal to format your dates differently, or if it just makes more sense to you, or whatever the case may be, you can change your format options there. You can change your language. You can change your currency, okay, based on your location, country code. You can set how you show your currency position. So in this case, it's showing $ before, after, with a space, left, right. Tax percentage, if you need to charge tax for these purchases, or for whatever it is that you're selling, you can enter your tax percentage here, and it'll be added to the order. Separators, this is you can use a comma. So if you want to separate out, like once you get to 1,000, if you want there to be a comma, you can use that. If not, it doesn't really matter. And then there's just a couple of style options, like payment button. You can do Stripe Blue, which is the default, or you can do none, and it will inherit from your theme. So if your theme has, and most themes these days do, have custom code for buttons, it'll just use whatever that style is and apply it to your buttons. And let's see, let me pull up this example here for you. This is the demo we're going to be going through in a minute, but just to help make this make more sense for you. this is the button it's referring to. So on my site here, chriseggleston.com, I'm just using Stripe Blue. If we go over to another site where I have this installed, I believe I'm using, yeah, so here's another button right here, and this is inherent to the theme style. So this button is coded into my theme for this color and this function, and the plugin is set to inherit that button instead of using Stripe Blue. So it's using my theme design for the button style. All right. So that's what that means. Coupon apply button style. So if you're going to enable coupons, so if you're going to allow people to have discounts or whatever, if you want to do promotions, you can enable coupons. And then same thing, those buttons, you can change the styles. I would recommend probably having if you're going to do that, if you're going to do coupons, then yeah, using a custom style, or one of these be Stripe Blue and one be a custom. That way it stands out and it's clear as to the difference between the two buttons. Default plugin style. So yes, I just always do the default. You can disable this and then it pretty much will strip like any style, and then you can code your own style if you wanted. If you're like a crazy designer and you're really good at that, and that makes sense to you to have full control of a design, you can do that by stripping the style off, by disabling it. And then these down here, you can, beta version, this would just allow you to be part of a beta trial. I don't recommend that in a live site. If you just have this up on like a development area, then yeah, sure, but not if it's a live site. And then save settings. Yes, just make sure that's checked because you want it to be storing your save settings, okay? So then once you made all your changes, just make sure you click save, obviously. And then you've got payment confirmation. Now, this section is what you would do like for emails. These are payment confirmation messages. Also, like the payment confirmation page, if you're just using the short code like I showed you before over here that it uses, this is where it's going to pull payment confirmation, is where it's going to pull the content that it displays, right? So this is the payment confirmation one for a one-time payment. It's thank you for your purchase, here are the details of your payment, and then it's got item description, purchase from your company, payment date, blah blah blah. You can change all that. It shows you down here what your options are. If you need to show that they were charged tax, you can itemize the details here. This is a subscription without trial option. So if you're running subscriptions without trials, this is what the confirmation page will look like and the data that it will generate. Subscriptions with a free trial, obviously that's different. They need to know they've got a trial and it ends, and then what they're gonna be paid when it ends. So you can come in here and edit these things to display or to control how things are displayed on that payment confirmation page. Okay, and then again, it doesn't just have to be this. You can add whatever you want to it, or you can just leave this, and then if you want to actually edit that specific page and add more content to it, you can do that as well, like I was showing you over here. You have the short code there that would pull in whatever's in these boxes, but then you can always put more information below it, or you can move the short code down and put something up here, image, whatever you want it to do. All right, so I believe that's it for plugin setup part 1. So just go through, make sure that you fill these out the way that you want them to read, and the data, make sure you personalize it so that as people coming in, they're feeling connected, they're feeling like it's actually coming from you. It's just not a bot, it's not just generic. You just definitely want to make sure that when you're doing these things, that you're connecting with your audience and that they're feeling connected to you through the process, like it's human and not robotic. Now, you can do payment confirmation pages in, payment confirmation emails in Stripe, which I highly recommend. Having Stripe process all your email receipts. I'll just pull this up real quick. We're not going to go into detail into this right now, we'll go over this in the next module, but they have great documentation on it on the WP Simple Pay site. But look at how nice these emails look when they come out from Stripe. And they're really simple to make look this good. Stripe has it all pretty much designed. You just got to brand it essentially. But this is what the email would look like for their receipt. So I highly recommend that you use and to make sure that they're enabled. And again, we're going to go over that in the next module. Let me jump back over to our course overlay real quick and see what's next. Alright, so next step is to do the plugin walkthrough. Okay, so I'm going to just demo my current WP Simple Pay setup. So already took you over there, so let's jump back over here. So this is again at chrisegg.com, and this is the only thing I have on that site is the one-time fix order form. So let's go look at that. So this is the page. Just has the details, the price, and then again you click here to get started, and it gives you this little pop-up, and you just fill it out, and then processes, and I get emails letting me know somebody just paid me money. But let's go ahead and look at my setup here on this site. So here are my products set up as I mentioned earlier in the video. This is what you'll see when you have your products and your services all set up in the plugin and ready to go, and you can edit them and whatever. Let's see. Let's jump into settings. I'll show you what it looks like when you're set up with Stripe here. So you got your Stripe keys. So you've got test keys and live keys. Okay, so you want to make sure that you get both of these from Stripe. Again, in the next video, in the next module, I'll show you where to find those and how to enter them. I just want you to see what it looks like. You have testing modes, so this is really powerful. So once everything's set up, you can enable testing and make sure everything works proper. And then it will actually run transactions, fake transactions through Stripe, and make sure Stripe is processing correctly, make sure emails are going out and all that fun stuff. General settings, again, this is all pretty much the same. I don't change much here. Every now and then, like I showed you earlier on my other site, I will use, I'll inherit the theme design for the button. But pretty much everything stays the same. I use a custom complete your order below, but that was because I had already created the page before they updated this plugin to provide this functionality. Because when I first started using this plugin, it didn't have the ability to use shortcodes with pages and confirmation information, so I had already built that out for myself. But I'm using their payment failed page. So that's really the plugin setup. I do want to show you how I use this, since I'm using it for support tickets essentially. Somebody orders a one-time fix for $79. Once they place that order, they're then taken to, let's go pull up this page. Let's go see what it looks like. The complete your order below. Okay, so you'll see right here an error occurred, but that's just because there was no process and there was no payment made getting to this page, so it doesn't have any data. If there was, you would see let's see, you would see this data on the payment confirmation page. So you would see minor subscriptions without trials. So this is the data that you would see. Thank you for your purchase, item that you purchased from, date, amount, blah, 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 right? So that's what they would see in this section here. And then next steps. So this, again, this is just what I put on the page. As I told you, you can add content below the shortcode if you want. And then I have a form, right? So this is just basically next steps. They're ordering a fix. This is for a WordPress support ticket. So I need some data. I need to know who ordered this. I need to know what they ordered. Okay, so one-time fix. I can probably update that. So that's the only thing that I sell from this site. And then I'm going to need their WordPress login information, their website URL. I'm going to need their username and password. And right here I tell them, look, please create a new administration login. That way they can disconnect me at any time. I request FTP access, and that's just so that I can access the files. More often than not, I do not get this filled out because people don't know what that is, and that's fine. We can sort that out later. And then a detailed description about what the issue is and what they're wanting us to fix. And then when they complete the setup, this goes into our ticketing system, which we use helpscout.net for tickets. But that creates a ticket in our system, and then our techs go to work and resolving that issue for them. So this is how I use it. Again, this is just a quick demo of my setup, and it's really simple. You'll see that we can go ahead and look at this product setup. This is this again is in module 4 when we're actually going to be going through and doing this part of it. But if we look at the actual product, I want to give you a full demo here of what this looks like. This is how you build out your products in SimplePay plugin. Okay, so what is this? This is a one-time amount. Okay, this is not a subscription. This is, my one-time fix. This is one-time set amount. This is my amount. Global settings, specific page, so payment success page. So redirect URL. So right now I have them redirecting over to my WP Geek, but the same confirmation page that I showed you here. And then what's next is form display options, and this is designing this pop-up. So how do you want this form to display? You can control this logo, or sorry, the image here, the name of the business, and then what this is basically the product name, one-time support ticket. Which you can see here, company name, one-time support ticket. So Stripe checkout, that just means that it's the pop-up box. But like I was telling you in the first video, is that they now have an overlay and an embed. So I can actually embed this in the page, so I don't have to click to pop up. It would just be a form on the page that gets filled out and submitted. And then the overlay option. And then custom fields. This is just basically if you have any custom fields. The only custom field I needed was the payment button. But if you add fields, you can see I can get an address. I can get drop-down selectors. You can do checkboxes, coupon fields. They can select which subscription they want, and all that fun stuff. But you can, set up your plugin or your button essentially. What's the button text? What they see while it's processing. So that's real simple. Stripe checkout. Again, this is more of designing the pop-up or whatever the checkout process looks like. So there's my logo uploaded. This is button text. So we'll look at that. Order your fix, and then it shows the amount because I have that option selected. So order your fix, and then if it was a trial, this is what the trial button text would be, but it's not, so I don't have any text there. Verify zip code, postal code. Now I do that just because it ensures more successful transactions through the process, because they have to put in their zip code in order to process. I have the Remember Me enabled. That way they can easily purchase again later. But yeah, you don't see the zip code here initially until you enter credit card details, and then it will ask you to confirm your zip code. But again, that just ensures more successful payment since I'm not collecting any address information. Now, if I was doing shipping the product, I would enable billing address, and just because I would need a shipping and a billing address, and sometimes they're not always the same, but mine are all digital purchases. Subscription options. Again, this is not a subscription, so it's disabled. But there are two options. You can set a single plan, or you can use a selection plan, right? If you have a, let's say you're selling, let's say you're a chiropractor, for example, and you're selling different types of monthly plans where you come in once a week, you come in twice a week, you come in once a week and you get a massage once a week, right? These different options. so you can have that as a selector, and this shows you all the plans. These are all my subscriptions that I have set up in my Stripe account here, but basically you would just add whichever one you want, and then you would add another plan here, and then select the next one, and then when they go through the process, they would be able to select which option they wanted and then check out that way. So it's a pretty simple tool, but it's pretty robust at the same time, where it gives you a lot of great features, a lot of great functionality, but again, it keeps things pretty simple. Alright, so that's the demo walkthrough. So we're done with that. So yeah, with plugin setup part 1, we've already gone through this. So we went through the process of entering our license key, we completed general settings, and then we did payment confirmation. So just to go back, where did that go? Simple Pay. So we'll go into settings. To show you again, we entered our license key here. We went over general settings and made the changes that we wanted to make there, saved them, and then payment confirmation again. We talked about how you can leave these exactly the way they are, or you can modify them and configure them to be unique and tailored to you and your audience. Alright, so that pretty much takes care of Module 2. Okay, so we've taken care of all of that. Again, you should have already gotten your SimplePay plugin license ordered. If you haven't, you're waiting on that, please go over to goget.xyz/simplepay and get that ordered. And then come back and watch this module again and get it installed and the initial setup done. Another credit is stripe.com, so if you haven't already, before you go onto the next module, because the next module is where we're going to dive into Stripe, head on over to stripe.com, set up your account, get your business all set up, get your bank account information entered, get all that done, get your account verified, and then you'll be ready for what I'm going to teach you in the next module on how to set up Stripe for your products and all that fun stuff. Again, I've referenced my site, Chris Eggleston or chrisegg.com, several times. Again, if you have any questions or you want help with some other things that we covered, go over there, use the contact form, reach out to me. Totally okay. And again, our sponsor, who I failed to mention earlier in this module, is WPMantis.com. Again, WP Mantis is a white label WordPress support provider. So if you are a designer or developer, you can go to them, hire them, put them on retainer, and they will manage all of your customers' websites, provide all of the support that you need to maintain those customers. You do not have to do anything other than charge your client, pay WP Mantis, provide them with the website access information, and then anytime your customer calls with issues or emails you with problems, you say, hey, you need to email help at your domain. That would then go to the WP Mantis team, generate a ticket in their system, and they would take care of the problem. So it's their developers and your clients. They do the work, you keep your hands clean, but you get to be the hero. Alright, so that's our sponsor. That's the end of Module 2. So again, next steps, your homework. If you haven't already done this, if you haven't got your SimplePay plugin, go order that now, get your license, and then go back through this module, set that up, and then go to stripe.com if you haven't yet. Again, this is your homework. Stripe.com, get your initial account set up, business information in there, get the account verified, get your bank account information in there so that you can start getting those transfers once the money starts rolling in, and then you'll be ready for Module 3, which we'll do next. So again, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.